Today we are going to study about the political history of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the administration of Delhi Sultanate. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was one of the most learned and accomplished scholars of his time. His intellectual curiosity and thirst for knowledge were boundless. Gifted with an extraordinary memory and keen intellect, he had mastered in the logic, philosophy, maths, astronomy, and physical science. He was the lover of Persian literature and poetry, calligraphy, fine arts, and music. He loved the company of the landman. Historians are divided on the nature of his character. The contradiction in his character have led some historians to believe that he was a mad. He has been variously described as a wisest fool, a madman, an idealist, and a visionary. He was a diligent ruler and undertook many projects. These projects were brilliantly was conceived but poorly was executed and always ended in failure. The very important topic we are going to study today under this Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is transfer of the capital. The important step taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the transfer of the capital from Delhi to Devagiri in the Deccan. There are two reasons where prompted the Sultan to take this decision. First one, central location. With the expansion of the Delhi Sultanate into the Deccan, Devagiri happened to be a centrally located. Second one, Mongols invasion. Repeated Mongols attacks posed a great threat to the Delhi. Dawlatbad, on the other hand, was at a safe distance from the invaders. So Sultan ordered the transfer of entire population instead of shifting only his court and the officials. Elaborate arrangements were made for the journey to Devagiri, which was almost 1250 kilometers from Delhi. There are few arrangements were made we could see now. The first one, a broad road was built with trees on both sides. Temporary huts were set up along the way. Provisions were made for the supply of free food and drinks during the journey. However, the journey was long. The many died on this way. The weary and homesick survivors could not adjust to the new and alien condition of the new capital called Dawlatbad or Devagiri. In the absence of Sultan in Delhi, Delhi was now exposed to the renewed attacks by the Mongols. Realizing that mistake by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he ordered to shift his capital back to Delhi after 2 years. The people were ordered by the Sultan to return. The suffering and the mental agony caused the great resentment among the people. The experiment was a dismal failure. It had drained the treasury and reduced the grand and prosperous capital of Delhi to mere shadow of its former self. Another important reform was introduced by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is token currency. The failure of Sultan's scheme had led to a heavy drain on the royal treasury. Muhammad bin Tughlaq then he decided to experiment with the token currency in 1329 Common Era to tide over the financial crisis. Copper coins having the same value as gold and silver coins were issued, and the people were ordered to use these token coins in all their transactions, including the business transaction also. However, Muhammad bin Tughlaq took no steps to ensure that the minting of the coins was the monopoly of the government. Every house became the mint and the people started to making the counterfeit coins. Counterfeit means duplicate coins. There were no arrangements to check the minting and the circulation of fake coins. The foreign merchants refused to accept the token currency. The trade came to the standstill. The fake coins were used to pay the taxes to the government. The economic system began to collapse. Muhammad bin Tughlaq had to withdraw the token currency. The idea of token currency was progressive one, but it was far ahead of the times. It failed due to the faulty execution. The government resources and the prestige of the Sultan suffered a serious blow. Taxation in the Doab. Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized the importance of a strong and powerful army to strengthen and secure the position of the ruler. To enhance his military resources, he needed additional revenue. The Ganga Yamuna Doab was a fertile region. The land tax of this area was increased. Unfortunately, the rains failed and severe famine was broke out. People refused to pay the enhanced taxes to the government, but the tax collectors showed no mercy on them and they continued to collect the tax with such rigor that peasants were ruined. To escape the tax collectors, the peasants were abandoned their lands and fled to the jungles. Realizing this gravity of the situation, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ordered relief measures such as free kitchens, loans to the farmers, and improved the irrigation facilities. But anyway, the remedy came in too late. The damage had already been done in this place. Agriculture suffered a severe setback to the government. Last topic under the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is plan of conquest. Muhammad bin Tughlaq dreamt of establishing the world empire. He decided to conquer the Persia and Iraq. A huge army was arranged and equipped and paid one full year's salary in advance. A year later, the project was abandoned because the Sultan realized that it would not be easy to send such a large army across the Himalayan passes. This plan was further depleted the royal treasury. He also sent an expedition to conquer the Himachal region. The army was suffered the heavy casualties and only 10 soldiers returned to Delhi. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq abandoned the project and disbanded the army. Sultanate Administration. The Muslim state in India, as elsewhere, was a theocracy. It was a system in which the Sultan ruled in the name of God and Islam was the religion of the state. The Sultan of Delhi was an unlimited despot. He was the chief executive of the state. He was also the highest judicial authority. The Sultan was a commander-in-chief of the army. His powers were very wide. He was responsible for the safety and security of the state. There was no constitutional method to remove a king from the throne. He could be removed only by the successful revolt, which meant a civil war. The Sultan also maintained the large number of ministers. The first one, Wazir, who was a chief minister. Second one, Diwan, who was a finance minister. Third one, Qasi, who was a chief judge. And the fourth one, Aris, who was an army minister. Provincial Administration. During the Sultanate period, the empire was divided into a number of provinces called Iktas. Each province was placed under the officials called Muktis. To facilitate the local administration, the provinces were further divided into Sikhs and Farganas or districts. The village was the lowest administrative unit. The officials who worked at the village level included Makodam, the village headman, or the Patwari, the record keeper, and the Murshid, the village accountant. Each village had the panchayat to settle the local disputes. Today we have learned the political history of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the administration of Delhi Sultanate. Thank you children for watching.